Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to continue our review of reverse logistics, and we'll discuss the types of reverse logistics, which are known as the 5 R's of reverse logistics. I'm Professor Rodriguez. I'm a college instructor, supply chain executive, and the founder of the MVC Logistics Academy, a place to find supply chain education, news, career development, and much more. So what do you say? Let's learn logistics. In this series, we want to teach you everything you need to know about reverse logistics, which includes the types of logistics, the processes involved, the steps, the benefits, challenges, and how to use reverse logistics to create value for a company. Now, if you want to catch up on reverse logistics and the general information on that, click on the cards for the link for the previous video, or we're going to link it in the description below as well. Okay, so let's get to it. What are the types of reverse logistics? Now, the different types of reverse logistics are also known as reverse logistics components. Now, these components, they focus on returns management and returns policies and procedures, which sometimes is also known as RP&P. Now, these components account for different activities. These activities are remanufacturing, packaging, unsold goods, delivery issues, leases, repairs, and any kind of product retirement. Now let's look at each of these components of reverse logistics individually. First up, returns management. This process deals with product returns from customers. For companies, the goal here is always to avoid returns in the first place. But when returns do take place, we need to have a process in place to handle and manage them correctly. Now, these return activities should be fast, controllable, very visible, and pretty straightforward. Now, think of your own experience with returns, right? How much of a pain or how easy they were to deal with really reflects on a company. Well, a company's customers will judge that, and they will judge the company based on how they handle returns. What's the ease and the flow of the returns, and what are the returns or re-returns policies? If you're wondering what's a re-return, this is a return of an item a second time around. These returns often trigger the extended return policies such as store credit. Now, let me give you an example of a re-return. Say a customer buys a return product that's on clearance. They take it home and they find out that it's broken. The store policy will not normally accept these type of returns, but it might allow you to get a store credit for a faulty product. A re-return, in this case, can also occur when a vendor rejects the return and gives it back to the purchaser without a refund. This scenario could happen with custom-made orders or custom-made items. Return policy and procedures, or RP&P. Now, the policies about returns that a company shares with customers is known as its RP&P, or Return Policy and Procedure. Now, these policies should be visible and consistent throughout the company and with every single employee or member of that company. It is important that employees adhere to these return policies, so there's always a pre-decided way of how to handle returns for the company. So basically, it's a set of how or what to do in case of returns. Number 3, remanufacturing or refurbishment. Another type of reverse logistics management includes what we know as remanufacturing, refurbishing, or reconditioning. That's a lot of re's. Well, this is how a company decides how to handle and process the repairs, the rebuilds, and the reworks of products. How it works is that companies recover interchangeable or reusable parts or materials from other products. And then the company reconditions these parts, cleans them, and reassembles them into new or refurbished products. Number 4, packaging management. This type of reverse logistics component focuses on the reuse of packing materials to reduce waste and its disposal. Number 5, unsold goods. Reverse logistics for unsold goods handles returns from retailers to manufacturers or distributors. These types of returns can be due to a couple of things, mainly poor sales, inventory obsolescence, or a delivery refusal. These products can just sit there somewhere in limbo or in a warehouse in perpetuity. So they can sometimes be returned to the manufacturers for a credit, depending on the contract that you have with them. Next up, end of life, or EOL. AOL, EOL, EOL. End of life, EOL. This component sort of goes hand in hand with the previous component. When a product is EOL, or end of life, it is no longer useful or it no longer works. The product may no longer meet the company's needs or might need to be replaced by a newer, better version. Companies need to know how to handle these kind of products and work with manufacturers to be able to return them back to where they go. Manufacturers often recycle or dispose of products that are end of life and must take into consideration the environmental challenges for their companies, their countries, or the environment in general. Number 7, delivery failure. Now, this is when a shipment was not able to be delivered to its assigned location. With failed deliveries, drivers return products to sorting centers, or also known as distribution centers. From there, the distribution centers have to return these products to the point of origin. Now, some distribution centers might even have the staff and resources available to identify why a delivery failed, correct the problem, and then resend the shipments back out to its final destination. Rentals and leasing. Depending on your type of operation as a company, we may have to lease or rent equipment to be able to manufacture or even operate. When a piece of equipment comes to the end of this lease or rental contract, it must be returned to the leasing company. This company that owns the product can then remake, recycle, or redeploy said equipment. This is a component of reverse logistics that a company has to take into consideration because it affects the flow of your supply chain. Number 9, repairs and maintenance. Once again, depending on the type of operation you have and the type of products that we sell or you sell, there could be some product agreements made to determine whether the customer or the seller needs to maintain the equipment or products and repair if any issues arise. This needs to be considered in a reverse logistics operations because we would need to have the processes in place to get damaged equipment or products back to our facilities, to repair them, or to be able to get a team out to where the customer needs the repairs to be done. Okay, so we know what is reverse logistics. If you don't, check out that video. We also know what are the types of components of reverse logistics in today's video. Now we will look at how can we measure the success of our reverse logistics operation. Now, the best way to do this is to use the 5 R's of reverse logistics. So what are the 5 R's of reverse logistics? Let me tell you. The reverse logistics have returns, resales, repairs, repackages, and recycles. So companies have or can apply metrics to each of these processes to track the improvement and success of our reverse logistics operations. If you take a look back, these 5 things are some of the things that we discussed, but just narrowed down. The goal here in measuring this is to take a closer look at how the 5 R's are able to be streamlined into our reverse logistics process, and in the end, reduce losses and costs for the company. Well, that was a lot of info for today in this video, but now you have a better understanding of reverse logistics. Now, let us know in the comments what you think about reverse logistics, and post any question you have about this topic or any other supply chain management and logistics question. Now, don't forget to connect with us and even become part of the MVC Logistics Academy student network by taking one of our certification courses where you can learn about topics like this and much, much more. Now, links are on the description, and we are currently under open enrollment. Now, feel free to give us a like, subscribe to our channel for more videos like these. I'm Professor Rodriguez. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.